What's up, guys? Learned to code with Walter here, or I don't know how this channel is gonna be named. Not really sure. Don't really care. Um, More of a passion thing than anything. So, my name's Walter, guys. Um, I'm currently in my mid 30s, restarting to learn how to code. The reason why I'm saying restarting, because I did start this back in like 2016, 15, 16, 17, right around there, maybe around 10 years ago. Let's just say that, probably for simplicity wise. And yeah, I got away from it. Ended up doing sales and got pretty good at that. And it's one of those things. Been doing sales for a while, but decided I wanted to go ahead and move on to things that I actually wanted to learn and wanted to do. And coding is one of those, right? Now, although I'm not like a complete beginner, it's been so long, I'm gonna consider myself a beginner. And so I just want to document it, right? It's just one of those things. I feel like it's just important for myself to be able to do, and just have fun with it. I am starting off here with FreeCodeCamp. It was one of those things I did back in the day. I started off. This is a fresh profile here. That's why nothing is completed, because I did peek into my old one that I had previously, and it looks like a bunch of these were already completed, and I don't know how to wipe them. And I figured it'd just be easier to create everything from scratch. So I'm not going into this completely blind, but although things have probably changed from then. I don't remember what HTML we were at the time or what we were doing. But yeah, about 10 years ago, like I said, I did start coding. I did Team Treehouse. Free Code Camp was a big one. I believe it was Odin project, if I remember correctly. It was the one where you did Ruby on Rails, and then I did a few PHP projects. Not quite sure where those are at in life or where they at in time, even if those are still viable kind of things. But like I said, it's a passion project for me. Something I love to learn. I felt like I was starting to get stagnant in life, so I just wanted to pick something up newish, and just start learning this again. So, basically, what I'm going to be doing is pretty simple. I don't have a lot of time out of the day, but I'm willing to dedicate about an hour a day to this, just for free code camp or whatever the case is. And then once we get done with this, I'm pretty sure we'll move into something else. I was looking at Code Academy as well, so we'll go through free code camp first, and then we'll go into Code Academy, and then we'll start going into other things, just depending on what I want to do or what I see fit. Um, Start building other things, but nonetheless, welcome. And at that point, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And then, as always, guys, um, I don't know what this is. Build a current outline. Build a curriculum outline. Okay, so we'll do that. Um, okay. But yeah, guys, as always, if you guys have any suggestions while I'm coding, if my methodology or my logic behind solving a problem in any of these scenarios, feel free to go ahead and chime in. I always want to see how you guys are doing, what you guys think, because obviously I'm a little bit older, I guess, when it comes to programming. So want to know how you guys think, because I remember the thing about coding was your brain has to think in a certain way, has to look at things that are very different. Like you have to talk. I remember one of the professors I had back in the day said you have to talk to a computer like it's the dumbest thing possible. You have to give it the step by step instructions. You can't leave anything behind. So with that logic, I might miss something, but yeah, feel free to go ahead and give me any recommendations. And as you can see here, the first lesson is type out welcome to free code camp. And my typing will be really slow. I have had hand issues. Okay. So it looks like we're gonna be doing a header. What is going on? Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Looks like a H1 tag. Is there any spaces? No spaces. Hopefully you guys can see pretty much the majority of the screen here. Um, so we'll do that. Oh, I forgot about those. All right. So pretty good so far. Um so we're on step 3 now. I should probably be reading this out loud. Notice that the HTML you write in the editor shows up in the preview. In this workshop, you will write the HTML in a very particular curriculum web page. Below your H1 element, type the following on an empty line. Full stack curriculum. And I will cuss pretty frequently. Um, so if you don't want to see this live and in the cut, feel free to. You should have. You should have the text full stack curriculum in your editor. Double check the spelling. Oh, missing a U. All right. Pretty good so far. Okay. An H1 element is the main header while a web page, and you should only use one per page. H2 elements represent subheadings. You can have multiple per page and they look like this. This is a subheading. Turn the full stack curriculum into an H2. Oh, I forget I have to click on this thing every time. Okay, H2 and oh, I gotta do that. Simple enough. Alright, learn the skills to become a full stack developer. I mean, I can just copy and paste it, but you know, I really do want to learn it. I don't want to. I don't plan on using any of the Chat GPT skills or anything like that. At least for this portion of it. You know, maybe when we become a little bit more advanced, then you know, we'll let it fly. But you know, at this point, I'd rather just learn the basics at least. We'll turn this. When you need to add a paragraph to a web page, you can use the P. Oh. Oh. Okay. Cool. Now, why is there a line missing? Whichever the case is. Okay. There are 6 heading elements in HTML H1 through H6. They use to show the importance of sections in your web page. The H1 is the most important, H6 is the least. Below the P, add an H3 element. I think this is what it meant. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Introduction to HTML. 3. Oh, that's what we were supposed to do. I like that. All right. Now notice each heading looks different in the preview with the same paragraph. Next, add P element that displays the following text. HTML represents the content and structure of a web page. Oh, cool. Now you're getting the hang of it. Add another H3 element, and then it's going to say Introduction to CSS. Oh, should probably take that away. Okay. Simple enough. While HTML defines the structure and a content of a web page, CSS is used to add style like things, colors, spacing, and layout. Below the H3 you just add another paragraph element with the text. Oh, with the text. CSS. It's a paragraph element. P. I keep doing a space. Yes. To style. Web page. Cool. I forgot the shorthand is Control Enter to submit these things. Oh, become a supporter. I will actually once I can get out of this. I don't mind that. Once we get past this ad, we will continue. Ask me later. We'll get all that done later. All right. Step 11. Finally, JavaScript makes your page interactive. It lets you tell a page what to do when someone clicks a button, submits a form, or many other things. For the last step of the workshop, add H3 and a P to the page describing JavaScript. First, add an H3 element, introduction to JavaScript. Okay, H3, introduction to JavaScript. H3. Ooh. Add a P element. JavaScript adds interactivity to a web page. That's interesting. Is that right? Yeah, let's get it. Let's get her done. All right. Debug a camper bot's profile page. All right. Yeah, let's do that. What we looking for? Camperbot is trying to add a. It's trying to build a profile page. They asked a friend to look over their code, and it has some errors. Your job is to fix all of Camperbot's errors so that they can continue building their profile page. Complete the item in the user story below and click Run Test to see if you fix all the errors. Camperbot is using a header 2. I would assume that's H2, but the elements do not exist. Fix those tags so that it uses a second. What is going on now? Okay. Hopefully, hopefully everything is okay. I don't know why everything shut off. Hold on. Let me just make sure. So we should be good to go. Fix all the errors. Camperbot is trying to use H2 elements, but the elements do not exist. Fix those tags So they use correct second level heading element. Camperbot is trying to add two paragraphs with PP, but those don't exist either. HG element for the background and interest. Okay, let's go top to bottom. So I'm assuming instead of H1, these should be H2. No, oops. Okay, this where it looks like it's messing up. H2, P, P, simple enough. Nothing, it doesn't, it's nothing crazy, so just delete one of those, control enter. Perfect. What we like to see, what we like to see. So, understanding HTML attributes. What role does this play on the web? Okay, so let's go ahead and read this really quickly. What roles do HTML play on the web? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and is markup language for creating web pages. When you visit a website and you see content like paragraphs, headings, links, images, and videos, it's HTML. There's a small example using HTML elements. Try editing some of the text in the editor and see the changes update. Oh, there is a little editor button at the top right here. I don't know how to adjust it. Oh, there we go. Close enough. Here's a small element. I am a paragraph. Okay. And then, I mean, this is basically what we covered before. Right. So, all right. HTML represents the content and structure of a web page that uses elements. Most elements will have an opening tag and a closing tag. Sometimes those tags are referred to as start and end tags. In between those tags, you will have the content. This content can be the text or other HTML elements. Here is another example of paragraph elements. Change the text in the editor to say I love coding and see the results. Um, okay. Nothing crazy. Both opening and closing tags start with a left angle bracket and end with a right angle bracket. Tag name in between these angles. While HTML tags names are case sensitive, it is widely accepted convention and best practice to write them in lowercase. Here's a closer look at closing paragraph tags. I felt like this should have been in the beginning before anything else, but whatever. Who cares? What distinguishes the opening tag from a closing tag is a forward slash placed immediately after the left angle bracket in the closing tag. Some HTML elements do not have closing tags. These are known as void elements. Here is an example of a void element, an image. Doesn't show you. I sort of forgot what that looks like. Notice that the image does not have the closing tag. It does not have any content. Void tags cannot have any content and only have a starting tag. Sometimes you will see void elements that use a forward slash before the uh, While many code formatters like Prettier will will choose to include the forward slash and void elements, the HTML spec states that the presence of the forward slash does not mark the starting tag as a self-closing, but instead it is unnecessary and has no effect of any kind. In real world development, you will see both forms, so it's important to be familiar with both. If you want an image to display, you will need to include couple attributes inside the image element. An attribute is a special value used to adjust the behavior of the HTML element. Here are a few examples of the source as element with a SCR attribute. Update the value of the SCR attribute to HTTPS FreeCodeCamp, and you will see that it images changes to two cats sleeping. All right, let's do this. Oh, I think we actually need the quotations. It's been a while. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. For element, the src attribute is used to specify the location for an image. For image elements, it's good practice to include another attribute called the alt attribute. The alt attribute is used to provide short descriptive images, text for the images. Here's the example of an image with an alt attribute. Try breaking the image by updating. You will see the image disappear and only show the alt. Oh, I forget. We need the quotations. Oh, okay. So you might be wondering if HTML itself is enough to build a website. Well, the answer is it depends. If you're building a small practice project that only displays HTML or that only displays text and images, HTML alone might be sufficient. However, if you're creating a modern professional website, you'll need to have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is for the content and structure, CSS is for styling, JavaScript is for adding interactivity to your web pages. The good analogy is to compare HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a complete building. HTML represents the blocks, concrete, iron that make up the walls, the foundation that makes the building strong. CSS represents the interior and exterior design that makes the house look beautiful. And JavaScript represents the electrical and water system that ensures uninterrupted access to water and electricity. That is a very good way to put that. I wish that was there when I just started. It probably was. I just don't remember it back then. But hybrid. I think it's this one. Closing syntax. Um, which of the following is a valid attribute inside the HTML source? Wait, did I get it right? Hold up, player. You never showed me if I got it right. Uh, check your answers. Oh, cool. So we did get it right. All right. So what are attributes and how do they work? An attribute is a value placed inside the opening tag of an HTML element. Attributes provide additional information about the element or specifically how the element should behave. Here, basic syntax for an attribute: element, attribute, value. It's the opening bracket. Element, close bracket. The attribute is followed by an equal sign and the value in quotations, in quotes. The value can be a string or a number depending on an attribute. This first example uses heifer, href, and target attributes. The href attribute specifies the URL of a link, and the target attribute specifies where to open the link. Enable the interactive editor and change href FreeCodeCamp or.news /news href. Now click on the interactive link. Okay. All right. Oh, I keep forgetting to include that. That doesn't look right. Did I do something wrong? It doesn't look right to me. Href. Oh, there's two hrefs. That's why. There we go. Go. All right. Without href attributes, the link would not work because there would be no destination URL. So you must include the href attribute to make the link functional, and target underscore blank enables the link to open in a new browser. You will learn more about target attributes in future lessons. Other common attributes are the source and all or alternative attributes, which is used to specify the source of an image and provide alternative descriptions text for the image respectfully. Enable the interactive editor and change the source to okay. Let's do that. Change that. Okay. Then change the alt to two cats running in the dirt. Oh, I deleted the equal sign. The one thing about IDEs that I do remember, which is why I'm able to catch these a little bit quick, it's just because I notice when this is turning white if I delete something on accident or I'm adding something on accident. So I do like the color references. It makes it easier for me to spot. Pretty sure you guys out there don't need that hand holding like I do, but you know. But similar to href attributes, the source attribute is required because it specifies the image needed file to be displayed. The alt attribute is not required but is recommended for accessibility purposes. Accessibility means making sure everyone, including those with disabilities, can use and understand the things like websites, apps, and physical spaces. You will learn more about accessibility in the upcoming lessons. Some attributes are a little unique with their syntax, like the checked attribute. Enable the interactive editor by clicking on the checkbox. Does it do anything? In the example, we have an input element with the type attribute set to checkbox. Inputs are used to collect data from users, and the type attribute specifies the type of input in case this input is a checkbox. You will learn more about input works from the upcoming lessons. The checked attribute is used to specify the checkbox should be checked by default. The checked attribute does not require a value. If it is present, the checkbox will be checked by default. If the attribute is not present, the checkbox will be unchecked. This is known as a Boolean attribute. I think Booleans are true false, if I remember correctly. You'll learn more about Booleans in general when you get to JavaScript section. Enable the interactive editor and try to remove the check attribute from the input. You will see the checkbox no longer checked by default. This? Oh, okay. Simple enough. There are several common booleans that you will encounter in HTML, such as disabled, read only, and required. These attributes are used to specify the state of element, such as whether it is disabled, read only, or required. Here's an example of a text input element that is disabled by default. Enable the interactive editor by clicking on the input element in the preview window. Now remove the disabled attribute from the input element. You will see that the input is no longer disabled by default. You should be able to click on it and type inside the field. Okay. HTML has many attributes that can be used to customize the behavior and appearance of elements on a web page. Understanding how to use attributes is essential for creating interactive and accessible web content. Over the next few lessons, you will next few years, um, you will learn more about HTML attributes and how to use them effectively in your web development projects. Which of the following is an example of a Boolean disabled? What is the role of HTML? As changes. Additional to define the behavior. I think it's this one. Which of the following is the correct syntax for a Boolean attribute? Check your answer. Let's see. Cool, we got all of these, right? Do that. All right. So, debug a pet adoption page. All right, we're going to take a look at this, see what's going on. Okay, Sally is a pet adoption store owner that has her first web page, but there's some issues. Your job is to fix the errors so Sally can continue building her page. The objective of this is to fulfill the user stories below and get all the tests to pass to complete the lab. Sally wants to use an image of some cats, but it's not displaying correctly. You will need to fix the image element, replace the href with the correct attribute for the source image, replace the att attribute with the correct attribute representing a short or the alt, remove the closing image tag, and Sally wants to use some links to direct users to the cat and dog pages, but the links are not working. You will need to fix the A elements. Okay. So, all right. Top looks fine. Let's go through this every line at a time. Top looks fine. Second part looks, paragraph looks fine. H2 looks fine. Href, this is where we were having issues. Okay, we gotta delete that. There's no closing. Okay, and then here, not ATT, it's ALT. The href. Hmm. I don't remember if this is needed. I wasn't paying attention. Now I'm so confused. This doesn't look wrong to me. It, this doesn't look wrong to me. But then again, just specify URLs. I don't know what that means. Let's go ahead and run it. Oh. Mm-hmm. And then these are hrefs. Oh, I'm all messing up, man. Hmm. Did I do it correctly? Hmm. I don't remember what I put here. Does this need a closed bracket? Because this is what I had originally. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was a little stumped. I was so confused. Okay. It's a lot more reading. All right. Oh, what is this? Understanding the boilerplate. Okay. Understanding the boilerplate. So let's learn about the link element and how it's used to link an external style sheet. The link element is used to link external resources like style sheets and site icons. Here's the basic syntax for using the link element for an external CSS file. Link rel style sheet and href equals. I'm assuming this is within the same scope. The rel attribute is used to specify the relationship That's what rel stands for, relationship between the link source and the HTML document. In this situation, we need to specify this link's resource is a style sheet. It is considered best practice to separate your HTML and CSS in different files. Developers will use link elements in their external CSS file instead of writing HTML in the CSS file, instead of writing everything in the HTML document. The href attribute is used to specify location in the URL for the external resource. The dot followed by the forward slash in the example tells the computer to look in the current folder or directory for the styles.css file. The link element should place inside the head element as seen in the following example. Assuming is this UTF. Oftentimes, you will see multiple link elements inside a professional code base that links to different style sheets, fonts, and icons. Here's an example of using the link elements to link an external Google font called Playwright Cuba. Is this one? Has to be. Those Google APIs. Google fonts are a set of free and open source custom fonts that you can use inside any project. You can choose which fonts you would like to use, and Google will provide you with the necessary HTML and CSS code. In this example, the pre-connect value for the rel attribute tells the browser to create an early connection to the value specified in the href attribute. This is done to speed up the loading times for these external resources. Another common case for the link element is to link to icons. Here's an example of linking icons to a favy icon or a fave icon. A fave icon is short for favorite icon. Is a small icon typically displayed in the browser tab next to the site title. A lot of websites use fave icons to display their brand icon. Specifies content link. Oh, specifies. So what is the role of link element in HTML? It is used to link an external resource like style sheets and site icons. What is the role of rel attribute inside the link element? It is used to indicate the language of the link icon. It is used to specify the relationship between the linked resource and the HTML document. What is a favy icon? Small icon used to display in the tab site title. Let's check our answers. Correct. Okay. So everything is good to go. Got all those right. More reading. So let's learn about the HTML boilerplate. What is HTML boilerplate, you ask? It is a ready-made template for your web pages. Think of it as a foundation of a house. A boilerplate includes the basic structure of essential elements every HTML document needs. It saves you time and helps ensure your page and it ensures your page is set up properly. Okay, I am getting annoyed with my headphones turning off. keeps turning off every few minutes. So I may need to just... Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. So we are getting everything now. So hopefully I don't have that issue no more. Hopefully the audio comes out pretty good on this. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to switch my headphones. Um, but okay. So let's get back into it. Let's learn about the HTML boilerplate. What is HTML boilerplate, you ask? It is a ready-made template for your web pages. Think of it as the foundation of a house. A boilerplate includes the basic structure and essential elements every HTML document needs. It saves you time and ensures your pages are set up properly. Here is an example. Doc type HTML, HTML language, looks like English, head, meta chart, UTF, -8, whatever that means. Let's see, from here to here, no clue what any of this means, but we're gonna be finding out, I guess. It's right here. Let's break down the key parts of the boilerplate. First, there is a doc type declaration. Exclamation point, doc type HTML. This tells the browser which version of HTML you are using. Next to it comes the HTML tag. HTML language. This wraps all your content in and can specify the language of your page. Inside the HTML tag, you're going to find two sections, the head and the body. Okay. So underneath that, we're going to see the head and the body. The head contains the important behind the scenes information. Your site's metadata contained in meta elements has details about things like character encoding and how websites like Twitter should preview your page's link. Your site's title, found in the title element, determines the text that appears in the browser tab or window. Finally, you'll typically link your page's external style sheets in the head section using link elements. The body section is where all your content goes. Oh, I remember that now. Okay. Now, why is a boilerplate important? It ensures that your pages are structured correctly and work well across different browsers. Using a boilerplate helps you avoid common mistakes and follow best practices. It's a great point for any web project. Remember, you can customize your own boilerplate to fit your needs. As you gain experience, you might add your own preferred elements or meta tags. As you continue to improve your personal boilerplate, you'll find that it saves you time when starting new projects. Next time you start a new HTML file, consider using a boilerplate. It'll definitely give you a solid foundation, solid foundation to build on. Where would you set a character encoding for your page? A meta inside the head. I'm assuming that's a language. Yeah, we'll see. Where would you set the language? Oh, the meta language inside your page. Now, character encoding. I'm not quite sure what that means. Would it be the doc type one? Because it would tell it that it's HTML. I'm assuming that's what it meant now after reading the second question. What is the purpose of a boilerplate? Provides a starting structure, ensures you are not missing any essential elements, allows you to get started running content to your page faster. All of the above. This is uh, incorrect. This is an attribute on the outermost element. An opening HTML tag. Did I get those right? Oh, I did. Cool. All right. So let it. Oh, it's not that bad. We'll get through this page, and then well, actually, let's see. How far are we? Oh, this is the last one. Okay, and then we'll build the cat photo app tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get this. Read this. What is a UTF-8 character encoding? Why is it so important? UTF-8 or UCS transformation format 8 is a standardized character encoding widely used on the web. Character encoding is a uh, method computer used to store characters as data. Essentially, all the text on a web page is essential of characters stored as one or more bytes. In computing, a byte is a unit consisting of 8 bits or binary digits. UTF-8 supports every character in the Unicode character sets, and this includes characters and symbols from all writing systems, languages, and technical symbols. Here is an example of using the meta element with the character set attribute to set the character encoding to UTF-8. By setting the character encoding to UTF-8, it'll ensure the accent E character is displayed correctly on the page. Here is an extended code example using the UTF-8 character encoding. Cafe. Okay, I see here. Cafe. For each new project you create, you will include this meta element with the character set attribute to UTF-8. Which attribute is used to set the UTF-8 character encoding HTML character set? What is a character encoding? A method used to score characters. It might be this one or this one. Bait 8. All right, cool. So what is a character encoding? A method computers use to store characters as data. Cool. All right, submit and go. All right, so tomorrow, I think we're gonna leave it off there. It's about an hour since we started. So tomorrow we're gonna go ahead and build that cat app. And this is all still HTML. So let's see the rate at which we're going. Not quite sure. It looks like we're going through 3. I want to call this modules. So 2, 3. So it looks like we'll go through a module or 3 modules a day, right around there. And so, yeah, I like where we're going so far. It's bringing back a lot of memories, but also pretty good job of refreshing me. Like I said, I don't remember a lot of this stuff, so pretty good, pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, guys, as always, guys, if you guys like this content, want to just follow this, see how, you know, somebody who like me, a little bit older, trying to learn this stuff again, seeing how I do. I said, like I said, if you guys catch me doing something stupid or the logic is off, feel free to send that in the comments below. As always, we'll see you guys in the next one. We'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.